Welcome, I'm Miss Aker, and I am so excited to see you here today with me, ready to learn. Let's start with a song to get our minds and bodies ready for our reading corner. So go ahead and stand up. You might already know this song, and I want you to join in with me. It's called The More We Get Together, okay? The more we get together, together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Let's do another verse with the word dance this time, okay? Ready? And you can kind of dance around your room as you're singing it with me, okay? The more we dance together, together, the more we dance together, the happier we'll be. 'Cause your friends are my friends and my friends are your friends. The more we dance together, the happier we'll be. I'm already feeling so much happier just singing that with you. That really got my brain and my mind ready for learning today. Welcome to Reading Circle. We're continuing our stories this week that are fables. And today's fable is all about brothers who are arguing. Give me a thumbs up if you've ever argued with a brother or a sister or a cousin or even a friend. Yeah, it happens. It's part of life. Well, let's see what happens in this story when a father is so sick of hearing those brothers argue. This story is called The Bundle of Sticks. A father had a family of sons who were forever quarreling. Quarreling means arguing amongst themselves. No matter what he said, they wouldn't stop arguing. So he searched for an example that would make them see that fighting will lead them to misfortune. So he's trying to figure out how he can teach them that arguing is going to lead them to have bad luck. One day, when the arguing had been so much more violent than usual, and each son was stomping around in anger, he asked one of them to bring him a bundle of sticks. He challenged them to try and break the bundle. Although each son tried his best, none was able to break the bundle. Then the father untied the bundle and gave them one stick at a time to each son to break. This they did very easily. Break. You can see he just broke it so easily. Here he has a bundle and he can't break it. My son, said the father, do you not see how certain it is that if you agree with each other and help each other, it will be impossible for your enemies to injure you? But if you are divided amongst yourselves, you will be no stronger than a single stick in the bundle. And the lesson of this fable is, in unity is strength. So working together and unifying can help you bring strength and help you against others, especially this family of raccoons. Okay, so let's retell that story across our fingers like we've been doing. So first, the brothers are arguing and the dad is really just upset about it. Then they're fighting so much that the father decides he has to do something to teach them a lesson. Next, the father gives them a bundle of sticks to try to break, but they can't. There's too many sticks, they can't break them apart. And last, he gives them one single stick and they break it really easily. And they learn that when you're all together, it's really hard to break things up. That when you're together, you're strong. But when you're all apart and arguing, misfortune might come upon you, bad luck. That's a really good story. So today I'm going to show you how you can use this lesson and you can try breaking sticks just to see what the brothers learn. Let me show you. So I just have a pile of popsicle sticks here. Now you can just use regular sticks from outside to do this as well. That can be really fun. But let's try doing what the brothers were doing. So first, take a bundle. So a bundle is a lot. So take a lot of sticks in your hand and let's try to break them. So I really am trying to break these with my might. And you know what? They're staying together. But let's do what the Father said. Let's just take one. I'm gonna take this orange one here, and let's just try to break this orange one and see if we can do it. Ready? I'm gonna hold it like this. 1, 2, 3. Oh my gosh, so when it was just one stick, it was really easy to break, just like in the story. But when it was a bundle of sticks, when it's everyone's working together, you can't break it. That really shows that when you're with your friends, when you're with your family, you wanna try to not argue, sometimes it happens, but you wanna try to get along and work to help each other out so that you can be strong and united. So something else you can do with sticks, with these popsicle sticks, is you can practice building your letters. Let's practice building the letter H. So I know that H, a big H, has 2 tall lines like this, and then it has a line across, and that is the letter H. What other letter could we build? Let's think of another letter. How about the letter A? Let's build the letter A. So A looks like a mountain, and then we are gonna put a line across it, and we have the letter A. Let's do one more. How about we do the letter L? Ooh. So I know that L has one tall line that goes up and down, and then one line that goes across the bottom to make a big letter L. Great job. Thanks for reading today's Aesop's Fable with me. Now you know that it's better to work together than to work alone. I'll see you next time.
Kindergarten is great at Kansas City Public Schools.
I know they have really good teachers. I know this is a great school.
They teach them stuff that I thought my kids would never be able to know at the age of 5.
Since deciding to send our kiddos to a neighborhood school, we've become even more of a part of our community.
Now is the time to enroll your future kindergartner for the new school year. Visit enrollkc.org today.
Good morning, friends, and welcome back. I'm Mrs. Gordon, and I am so glad you are here with me today to learn new things. We have been discovering what things that float or sinks. So I have some new items today with me. Have you ever played outside with nature and saw grass or flowers or rocks or sticks or dirt or anything? But have you ever tested if they can sink or float? Well, today we are going to do just that. So if you have time, if you have all your materials, gather them. If it's nice outside, you can do this outside. Don't forget your large tub of water. Let's get started. First, I have a seashell. Now, it's not every day you probably see a seashell outside unless you're on the beach. But let's see if this can sink or float. Can you make a prediction? Usually predictions are a part of science. A prediction is something where you guess first, you think about it, and then we test it out to see if it happens. So, do you predict whether this seashell will sink or float? Let's test it out. My prediction is I think it will sink. Let's see if I'm right. It did sink. This seashell sank right into the water. So I can put a check mark off of that. I was correct on my prediction. Let's see. I have some more items. Let's test out this leaf. Do you have a lot of leaves outside your house? Let's make our prediction. Do you think this leaf will sink or float? I think this leaf will float. Let's see if it does. It did float. The leaf is floating. Did your leaf sink or float? I have another prediction that was correct. Let's see if you can guess if this stick. What's your prediction? Sink or float? I'm unsure, but if I had to guess, it would probably float. Let's see if I'm right. The stick is floating. Did your stick sink or float? Let's test out some more nature items. I have this gourd. This gourd is usually something that can be grown in the garden. Do you have vegetables in your backyard, or have you ever seen a garden? I think this is going to sink. Let's see. It sank right to the bottom of the tub. It's a little heavy. Usually heavier things sink. I have a wood chip. Some people call this mulch. Do you think it will sink or float? I'm going to predict it's going to sink, but we'll see if it floats. I was wrong. This wood chip is floating. Did you have something similar? Did it sink or float? I have an acorn. This is a tiny acorn. Do you remember which animal usually eats acorns? A squirrel. Let's see if this will sink or float. I will predict it's going to sink. Let's see if I'm right. I was wrong. It's floating. It even flipped over. It's floating. Did you find an acorn or something similar? Did it sink or float? I have a rock. Rocks are all around us. Do you think it will sink or float? Now, if I had to make a prediction, it's going to sink. Rocks are usually heavy. Let's see. It sank right to the bottom. This rock sank to the bottom. Rocks usually do not float. I have this tree bark. It seems light. Do you think it will sink or float? Let's test it out and see. The tree bark is floating. Do you have something similar? You can even use paper. It is floating. I have a couple of dried pea pods. Do you think these will sink or float? I predict they're going to float. Let's see if I'm right. They are floating. The pea pods floated. I have some dried grass. Do you think it's going to sink or float? I predict it's going to float. It floated on top of the water. So you know that grass floats. I have one more thing. We always see how flowers grow when we plant them. But have you ever seen tiny seeds? These are sunflower seeds. Now, usually these are planted in dirt. But if I put them in water, will they sink or float? It looks like they're floating. All of the seeds floated. Which items sank or float for you? It looks like most of my items floated. I have a few that sank to the bottom of my water tub. I hope you had fun today collecting nature items and seeing if they sank or floated. Go grab your nearest adult and tell them what those words mean. Usually heavier objects sank to the bottom, and usually lighter objects float all the way to the top. Go tell the nearest adult what those words mean. Grab more nature items and see if they sink or float in water. You can even add some food coloring or Jell-O packet to make color water to be more fun, and see if nature can sink or float. Until next time, I wish you well.
Welcome to Hartman Elementary School. My name is Dr. Jessie Kirksey, and I'm principal of this fine school. We are dedicated to providing our boys and girls an education of the finest quality. We nurture and we care. We have 3 focuses here at Hartman School: attendance, achievement, and attitude. We are child-centered. We ask our community and our parents every year to join hands with us to help us provide an education of the finest quality for our junior citizens, and they are doing this. Welcome to Hartman School, and we know that you will enjoy this virtual tour. Our mission at John T. Hartman Elementary School is to create a safe and nurturing environment where all children can become lifelong learners. Our responsibility is to lead, encourage, and provide the opportunity for all students to reach their full potential and be productive in our diverse and global society. We begin our educational journey with our preschool program. This is where we begin to cut the apron strings as our young scholars learn how to listen, work, and play together with teachers and classmates. Our preschool environment sets the tone for learning daily routines, a peek at this big, wide, wonderful world in which we live, and begins to build the foundation for future learning opportunities. It is a full-day program. Our kindergarten program continues to lay the foundation for reading, writing, exploring, and problem solving. We believe to be successful in any space, Scholars must have strong reading, writing, and math skills. Our kindergarten scholars learn over 100 sight words throughout the year. Our teachers incorporate strategies to develop student literacy. We also partner with organizations such as Lead to Read and Literacy KC. These organizations, along with their volunteers, help promote fun and engaging learning environments. Our vision at John T. Hartman Elementary School is to create a collaborative learning community that is caring, nurturing, respectful, and safe, while passionately developing academic and social excellence for all. Our collaborative community will fight passionately and gracefully to prepare lifelong learners to compete in society. Hartman offers digital devices for all of our scholars. Scholars feel a sense of control over their education while developing a 21st century skill set. We offer iSpark, our STEM, along with art, music, physical education, and library. Students have access to interactive tools to open a world of science, technology, and math using hands-on curriculum. We offer a variety of activities and clubs to inspire and motivate our primary and intermediate scholars. Our Hartman Gems, our girls, and gents, our young men, are special groups of scholars who have exhibited leadership, respect for others, and a sense of purpose. We also have our newspaper club, our drama club, Girl Scouts, and Boy Scouts, offer free before and after school care in partnership with Link. We believe that our parents are the first and best teachers of their youngsters. We ask our parents to join hands with us as we provide an education of the finest quality for the best scholars in the nation. Thank you so much for joining us today. If you have any questions or if you would like a personal tour, please call us at 816-418-1750. We would like for you to become a part of our Hartman family.
Hello, Kansas City. Welcome to another wonderful day out there. You're joining us today for a show called Life After, a show that explores the stories that happen right after high school and probably don't stop until people are done with their lives. So what's really fun and an unbelievable chance to check up and find out how people have been doing. We started this during the pandemic and it's really not been stopping. I think we're up to maybe 50 or 60 of these little episodes. So joining us today is another wonderful person I had a chance to work with back at Paseo Academy. Welcome, Lucas Piercy.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Okay, Lucas, so the first thing we do to jump into this fun is to get that year that you remember the most, your final year at Paseo, kind of explore that year a little bit. What do you remember or what you take away from that experience? Because I remember it very well. I know you were really involved in all kinds of things. I can remember you portraying characters. I can remember you doing your own work. I can remember you doing music. I can remember all kinds of film, a particular field trip where we went to Parkville, where you made like a documentary of us going underground. And so I remember all these amazing artistic crafts during your time at Paseo. What do you remember?
Yeah, all those things. Yeah, definitely like all the theater and definitely all the videography stuff that I was into. Those were the two main things. Yeah, yeah, and I graduated 2011.
2011. So tell me a little bit about like when you say you were into those things, what was your life like during being a Paseo student working on some of those things?
So definitely with acting, we worked a lot with Miss Connor while she was still there, because she was there for many years. But like in my time there, she had ended her time there. So a lot of time that I remember was being spent in her classroom, either reading plays or rehearsing. Yeah, and then the other things I remember most are being in Mr. McClendon's class, doing the videography stuff and editing videos and stuff. Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, I remember those too. And he himself being a documentary style, kind of nonfiction style filmmaker. And then yeah, we got to work with him. I got to know him some myself. Fantastic. Okay, so you really were immersed in those two things, and which makes us kind of curious if that's what you're still doing today. But let's explore that in a minute. Tell me, you got done with Paseo. We had this graduation ceremony. And do you remember the moments just right after that? Because to me, that's the favorite thing to explore in these interviews. What did that feel like? And then what moves did you make or try to make or eventually make?
Yeah, there was definitely that feeling of like excited freedom, time to go out into the world. I graduated a year early, so I took a year off, took a gap year. Yeah, so I just was like doing theater and applying to colleges.
Great. You did a bunch of shows or a couple shows when you in between that gap year? Do you remember it real well?
I did like I was in A Christmas Carol for the Rep, and Pride and Prejudice for the Met. I think I did. I was in Titus too for the Living Room Theater.
Wow.
That was the last one I did before heading out.
Very cool. Who'd you play in the Christmas Carol?
Snuff. I think I had like 3 lines and then just ensemble member.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a great time.
Very cool. And so I know, does Marin still work over there? Do you know Marin Barron? She was part of KC Rep maybe after your time.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I met her or not.
We'll have to find her. She's over there now, I know, and she's working like on staff there. So
cool.
Did you get to go to some of those KC Rep plays that Miss Connor and everybody? We took a lot of students to those.
Yes, yeah, that was like usually like the most theater that I would see in Kansas City, other than like the plays I was in.
I remember, luckily, like student matinees, we'd see them in the mornings, and we'd have our own, production, and the cast and directors and everybody come talk to us. Did you get to participate in some of those?
Yeah, I got to be there for the Q&As. I thought that was one of the coolest things that we were able to do, talk to the actors and really see what was on their minds about the show.
Gotcha. Yeah, a little extra insight for the people who are really working on their craft in the audience, and that was you. So that's fantastic. Okay, so you did this gap year, and then what? Sounds like a very busy gap year, really artistic gap year. That wasn't just like a break, right? That was very full of things to do. And then what came from there?
After that, I had auditioned for Juilliard and DePaul's theater school in Chicago. So I got into DePaul.
Wow.
And you want me just to go into like the whole story,
Yeah, you can just kind of rail it out if you remember it kind of in order, little bits and pieces. But so you got into a school that you really looked forward to getting into.
Yeah.
Probably an expensive school.
It was expensive.
Yeah.
Yes. I had to rely on a lot of loans, and they still exist.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, but you jumped in, you went for it. So tell us about that. What was that experience like? How was it like, or similar to Paseo, I guess?
Yeah, my experience was really unexpected. I was met with a lot of things at once, and I actually kind of had kind of a mental health crisis. I had a mental breakdown. But, I also was able to, what kind of met with that was, we had teachers who invited us to kind of look at the spiritual path and the spiritual seeking, and those two things kind of existed together at the same time. So I kind of just pushed through my first year and decided to leave there after my first year.
I see.
Yeah.
Big decision. Okay, so that wasn't quite the fit. There was a lot going on that understandably, I stayed at the first college I went to for a year and a half and discovered I really didn't connect with some of the people on that campus, and that a lot of the issues I thought I could just ignore, I couldn't, and they were often race related and things like that. So I totally understand. You never know until you get there and get involved. So then what happened, I guess, after you made your next move?
After that, I went to a school in Boulder, Colorado called Naropa. It's like a Buddhist-inspired school.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I was there to learn some things about meditation and contemplative learning. And yeah, I was only there for a semester. My dad died, so I came back home, and the next 7 years since were kind of like a blur of trying different things, you know, to see what kind of guides me toward healing from this major change. Because, you know, my dad was he was my strongest pillar, like my best friend, biggest supporter of acting. So it was a really hard thing. Yeah, so I tried a lot of things.
Yeah, respect to you and your family, and thank you for
Thank you.
including that in your story, because we don't ever plan for those, but that's part of what we do and we keep going. I have some family and kind of having trouble with their health right now, and so I'm reflecting hard listening to you. Okay, so your big part of that was your dad, and you're pushing through this again, finding ways to get back to being grounded and feeling okay again. And then you said that kind of, you felt like took like 7 years. Do you remember when you started to feel different, that something was going forward again, or the way you were looking forward to it?
Yeah, I mean, it really, I feel like the experience of trying to come full circle and like come to a place of wholeness and healing really started when I was at DePaul, before, you know, even before that loss, because I knew I wanted to reach a point where I sort of returned to the stage or came back again in a way where I felt whole. So yeah, there were a lot of spots throughout where there were highlights, of course, and like moments where I got to see the divine in action, and you know, to kind of meet love in that way.
Awesome. Very cool. Yeah, you became a little more spiritual than I remember you after Paseo days. Huh?
Yeah.
That's really neat. And so again, we're doing life after, and so I've only remembered Lucas from little moments that I got to know him barely back in the day, and really interesting to explore that a little bit further. And not a topic we explore all the time in traditional school, right? It's just something we talk about only on one day a week, and it's not even attached to school often. So very interesting. Okay, so did you go further in that pursuit? You want to kind of bring us up to the things that led you to where you are now?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I tried going back to DePaul for a semester. That didn't work out. And then after that, I kind of was going back and forth between being in Kansas City and traveling. And that kind of got to be a way for me to continue seeking and searching, finding new things about myself and continuing to ask those bigger questions. Like one fun thing I got to do was volunteer farming. There's this organization called Worldwide Opportunities for Organic Farming. It's spelled like woof, like a dog barking.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Wolf.org. Yeah.
Very
cool. I bet they get confused a lot for dog related.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Anytime I tell people about it, they're like, wolf? Who? I don't, yeah. But yeah, basically you would farm and get room and board for that. So yeah, I think I was kind of on a track of like, maybe I'm going to keep traveling. Maybe I'll have a Forrest Gump life.
Yeah.
So I tried one farm, and it was like this community setting, bunch of hippies, permaculture. And that was really special. And I got to kind of see how I am within a group setting. What is my role that I play? You know, when you're in a smaller group, you can kind of find that. And then the only other farm I went to was in upstate New York. The other one was in California. And I was the only farmer there.
Wow.
And so it was a weird experience, not typical for like the wolf experience, but I think the thing that was like the most spiritual kind of is like the most physical, which is kind of funny. They had a few animals on the farm, and they had this massive pig. So like at the end of each night, I had to like put the chickens away, and this massive pig is inside the pig pen, and I just feel kind of bad for it. Like I just know that it seems lonely. So every once in a while I try to pet it, even though I knew that if it tried to bite me, it could just tear off my hand. So one day I decided one time I tried to pet it and it ran into the electric fence and it freaked out. So I was like, maybe I'll just turn off the electric fence and then try to, just a little pet. And it hops over the fence and chases me down. And I was in fear for my life.
Oh my gosh. Big
Yeah,
pig.
it was intense. But thankfully, the people, the owners came out and stopped the pig and got it distracted. But I told that story just to kind of bring up the fact that like the most intense spiritual realization from that was like, it's not about having some big, wild, amazing, successful life. It's not about having a Forrest Gump, big fish travel story. It's about the people that you love and that you want to connect with and be around. So that's what brought me back to Kansas City. And now I'm just kind of settling into my apartment and going from there.
Very cool. Awesome. So what are you doing to keep yourself afloat? Are you taking some odd jobs here and there? You working one in particular? What I know we can't all survive on hopes and dreams, unfortunately, but I wish we could, man. That would be such a different world. But
it would be nice.
Yeah. The dreamers would feel very rewarded for that. So
that's true, they would. Yeah, I worked at Park University for a little bit. I was like a building attendant, and then I left there, and then I've been kind of just job hopping lately. So currently I'm slinging pizzas at Domino's, going out and delivering them. That's my current way of making dough.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And you have other goals. So like what's coming up in your mind while you're doing that? I'm sure it's not the stage of enlightenment that you're really working toward is enlightenment plus pizza smells and
right
stuff. So
yeah,
what are you thinking toward your next move if you're kind of contemplating that? Or doesn't have to be that we know for sure. That's the coolest part about life, it just kind of goes. But sure. Have you had some thoughts about your next moves or what you want to try?
Yeah. So it's become less important to focus solely on the enlightenment stuff and more just on like being here and enjoying what I'm here to enjoy, but also saying what I'm here to say. So I do feel like I have something to say after the past 9 years. So I'm working on a play.
Really?
Yeah.
Very cool. You got a concept? Is it something you can share with us that we won't steal, or you want to keep it secret?
I got to keep it secret for now.
All right.
I keep it under wraps, but
I respect that. That's why I knew to ask, being the writing teacher I was for so long. We don't want to just throw it out there and have somebody else borrow it. Because I swear I've had a couple ideas that I've seen later. They don't come from me, but I wished I did them back when I thought of them. So
I can appreciate that.
Let's ask you this. What kind of comment are you trying to make, if at all, in this play? Like back to the world or about the world or?
Yeah, I think it would be that it's not always about the dreams or the expectations that you have. Those can get in the way of enjoying your reality that's right in front of you.
Really cool. Man, I want to come see that. Okay, so you're well into it? Are you just kind of in conceptual stage, or where are you with this awesome project?
Well, so writing became like a really important thing for me back at DePaul. It was like one of my biggest things of like, it really helped me. So like I've been writing in journals since, so I have a lot of scattered pieces, but the pieces are starting to come together. So I'm just working on the puzzle right now, but I've got the basic overarching ideas.
We ever need a creative thinker, shoot me a question or two, or I'd love to see an early version or a draft or a concept. It's fun. I promise I wouldn't take over, but I get a little spark, and man, some things just start running in my head. It's fun to dialogue on those things. So
for sure.
Okay, so you got a play in the works. That's really awesome. You're writing a lot. You're doing some of that kind of personal journaling and kind of, I'm doing a lot of those same things. I didn't just tell people to do it most of my teaching career, but I was doing it too. It's really, and it doesn't just go away. Like, you need to keep doing it because satisfying something, and then when you stop, you can tell, right? I can too. That the outpouring, the welling out of these things that we want to keep allowing them to come out. So that's fantastic. I'm glad you found writing as both a artistic and a healer. Okay, so you're kind of on the crux of some big decisions and some goals, and happy with the day to day, which is really, you know, an awesome goal. It sounds like a lot of what you've been telling us is loaded with potential advice, which we are kind of at that part of the end. And I bet you're the guy that's going to say, I don't want to tell anybody how to live their life, but
I love
right?
telling people how to live their life. No,
Oh,
I love giving advice. That's
perfect.
fun.
All right, well then this
Sharing
would be the
wisdom.
part. What do you think the wisdom we could carry with us that you've been learning, that other young people watching, because this show is also about finding your path, but also the path doesn't just show up all of a sudden, all at once, right? So
Yeah.
I love the example here is that whether it's delayed, whether it's always there, whether it's, you know, the one that you're on right now to get to the next one, you're currently on a path, right? And it's as long as you're very happy with it, it sounds like a great pursuit. What advice do you take from what you've experienced, or maybe what you heard back then at that school, or who knows? I know I've heard people tell me they've quoted Mr. Naves and all these other various teachers who were just loaded with wisdom. Do you remember any of those wise words from Connor or from anybody you kind of still regard as really influential in your life?
Yeah, I think that something that Ms. Connor had said, or kind of inspired us to see, is like the magic of the theater. And the point of that to me was to see that, you know, what she was letting us know is that the art will be made. The art will come through. It has a life of its own. It's as though there's some sort of spiritual element to it. It wants to come through, and it's just up to us to let it through. But I think advice kind of jumping off from that really would be that everybody's going to have their own trajectory and their own mountains to walk up, and not everybody's life is going to look the same, and a lot of these times and dates that we have set for ourselves are arbitrary a lot of times.
Thank you for saying that, as I'm so old all of a sudden, and the number in my brain, which is going to turn 4 here pretty soon, is a
numbers mean nothing.
Okay, I'm going to keep that in my mind. This means nothing.
Number.
None of that stuff means anything. It's all just
it means something, but yeah.
I do like your hair. I'm jealous.
Thank you.
And I always look forward like I would always have it, which, let me tell you, not so much. So yeah, paths change. You roll with them, folks. Young people, you're hearing really good advice. How about this? Final question. What's something you'd want to say to Kansas City? Because what's really fun, and I get to shout out to the city, shout out to Kansas City right here in the corner, right? Place I've lived my entire life and still love it here. What do you think the city needs to hear right now? All these things we've been thinking about, living through, trying to remain positive, trying to be proud of our community, even though it's, riddled with problems and violence and all kinds of, unfortunate challenges that just do seem to return every year as part of living here. Not to say you shouldn't move here and make an awesome life here, but a lot of urban communities face those same struggles, and you hear about it on a regular basis. You don't hear enough stories about people succeeding. So what do you think you would like to say to that city, KC, that might be listening right now?
I would say that no matter how much the darkness rises, no matter how much the evil seems to be taking over our lives or our country or our city, that the light rises equally, and that we don't have to be afraid of things going wrong. I think things are going to get better.
Very cool. I would agree with that. And I would say that this is a very artistic city. And so hearing how you were in 3 plays, hearing how you're writing one, I could see you. Are you going to get back in some other people's productions? Because I got a chance to play live music here once or twice or maybe 4 times in my life, but who's counting? And I was amazed I didn't know about the real not in school arts community that exists for live musicians, for poets, I knew about it, but I didn't know how vast and how powerful. I mean, but Kansas City's on the map when it comes to artsy towns these days.
Yes.
And I'm really, I'm proud of that. And I wonder if some of our students really realize, but yeah, if you're listening, people in Kansas City, be proud, go out and support some of our amazing artists. And so that would be my little bit of suggestion for the listeners. But Lucas, it's been awesome catching up with you, man. Look forward to hearing about your play and touching base on that. Steel Magnolias is at Paseo, I think, this weekend. If you know, so you are in the city, right?
I am.
You are. Okay. Well, don't be a stranger. Paseo's, you know, always open to visitors. I don't work there anymore, but I guarantee they'd be intrigued to hear you come back and tell your story as well. And if you're listening to this show, people out there in Kansas City, and would like to come on and also share your story, the goal is to continue to show more paths to young people so that as they make their choices, they see the limitless options sometimes that you may not think when you're coming out of school. We also know that sometimes we hear, you know, more of a closed book than an open book about what opportunities might exist. So Lucas, it's been awesome catching up and talking to you. I remember your artistry and I can hear and see it now. And I'm excited it's still like the major part of your life. And I look forward to seeing what comes next.
Thank you, Mr. Odom. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Kansas City, thanks for listening.
Kansas City.
We're signing off.
See you.
We are happy to have you visit our family here at Northeast Middle School. My name is Principal Schriever, and I am the principal here at Northeast Middle School. We serve students in the 7th and 8th grade in the historic Northeast neighborhood in Kansas City.
Welcome to Northeast Middle, the home of the mighty Titans.
Welcome to Northeast Middle. Transitioning to middle school is exciting, but it can also be scary. But that's what we're here for. I teach students success skills, a class where students get in touch with their emotions and learn how to stay on task in their courses.
Hello, my name is Mirna Naya. I am the parent liaison at Northeast Middle School. I communicate with parents, legal guardians regarding school information, events, school advisory committee, and more. I love interacting with students' families every day.
Hello and welcome. My name is Christine Dismay, and I teach geography and economics here at Northeast Middle School. We have a safe and nurturing environment in our classrooms. Your student will enjoy learning here.
Hi, I'm Laura Culp. I'm an 8th grade math teacher. Welcome to 8th grade. We offer advanced courses in all core subjects. Learning here is fun and rigorous because we care about our students and their academic experience. Northeast Middle School students are successful and prepared for high school.
AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, is a college and career readiness program. Students develop the skills they need to be successful in college starting in middle school. Most students continue their AVID course throughout high school with the same group of peers.
Hi, I'm Mr. Fleming, and I teach PE and health at Northeast Middle School, and we have a wide range of electives including choir, band, orchestra, visual arts, creative writing, and much more.
Hello, my name is Kenneth Moore, and I teach 7th, 8th grade choir. Our goal is to ensure our students get the very best academic opportunities. Our students maintain a well-rounded experience.
Northeast Middle School is truly a diverse environment. We have scholars from all over the world, and we have as many as 30 languages spoken in our building at any given time. To celebrate the diversity in our building, we host an international festival so our scholars can get a true taste of the world.
Hi, I'm Ben Jonte. I'm the art teacher at Northeast Middle School. Project Lead the Way, one of our electives, provides our students with hands-on, real-world learning. This will give them experience in growing industries like computer science, design, and robotics.
Hello, I'm Ms. Shepherd, and I'm the athletic director here at Northeast Middle School. Here at Northeast Middle School, we offer a variety of sports for boys and girls, including basketball, track and field, soccer, wrestling, swimming, cross country, flag football, cheerleading, and volleyball.
Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today here at Northeast Middle School. To learn more about our campus or to request a personal tour, please call 816-418-3400. We look forward to sharing with you more of the exciting things occurring at Northeast Middle School.
Harold Holiday Montessori fosters a lifelong love of learning for students in pre-K through 6th grade. Holiday is the only free Montessori school in the KC metro area recognized by the Association of Montessori International. At Holiday, children have the freedom to choose their work throughout the day, helping them to become responsible, independent, and self-motivated learners. Find out more or enroll your student at enrollkc.org/holiday.
Welcome to East High School. My name is Louis Sinahosa, and I am the principal. I'm looking forward for you to learn all about our East Bears, and thank you for taking the time to visit with us. At East, we serve students in 9th through 12th grades. We first opened our doors in 1924 to serve high school students on the east side of Kansas City. With more than 50 plus languages and countries represented at our school, East is one of the largest and most diverse high schools in Kansas City. Our mission is to ensure each student reaches his or her fullest potential as a learner. With literacy as our focus, our goal is for all students to be successful and gain valuable experience throughout their high school career. After graduation, our students go on to be successful in either college or the career of their choice. We put a focus on learning through a 21st century lens. To prepare students for life beyond high school, we have specific college and career pathways which include agriculture, health science and bioscience, nursing, engineering, teaching, EMT, law and public safety, construction, barber and cosmetology, computer science, culinary, and more. Students can graduate with their industry-recognized credential in their chosen pathway and have job options upon graduation. East offers traditional high school classes, advanced placement, and dual credit courses. In addition, we offer Early College Academy where students attend Metropolitan Community College, Penn Valley, where they can graduate with both their high school diploma and associate's degree. We welcome immigrants and refugees into our school. With a high level of English language learners, or ELL students start in small group instruction to help them quickly get up to speed with their counterparts. They will have ongoing ELL support to ensure they are successful throughout high school. Along with a high-level academic rigor, East also offers a wide range of sports, clubs, and other activities. Our soccer teams have become some of the most dominant programs in their division. Plus, many of our scholar athletes have earned scholarships to play their given sport at the collegiate level in soccer, football, volleyball, and more. We have something for everyone in our school. Students can be part of junior ROTC, art, instrumental and vocal music, or take a variety of electives. Plus, we offer activities including bike club, dance, debate, newspaper, student council, yearbook, and more. At East High, we believe each student has untapped potential. Students have opportunities to visit colleges, universities, and other post-secondary institutions, as well as participate in job shadowing and internships related to their career interests. Thank you for visiting. We hope you enjoyed the tour. If you want to learn more about East, please call us at 816-418-3125. Go Bears!